All right, guys, we are back again. This is Denman, and we are going into the Professor X saga. I've had multiple requests to test out some of the Thunderbolts, and we're going to test out also Super Skrull. I've had a few requests on that as well. So we're going to jump in here today and do some testing with them, and we're going to see how it turns out and see if they are a good alternative to get through Professor X. I know a lot of people are really wanting to be able to use the Thunderbolts because they're a raid team and they're more interested in bringing them to Gear 20 as opposed to bringing all of the Liberty members because they're not that interested in war. So this is something that we're going to jump in here and test and see if it's going to work out, and we'll find out together. So first thing that we're going to do is, let's see. I believe it is Global Villain that we need to get in here and test Taskmaster. Let's see. I think this is the section. I loaded him. Okay. So we have taken out Apocalypse and Omega Red, and we are going with the 4 Orcus minus Omega Sentinel and Taskmaster. And we're going to try the 2 hardest nodes with Global Villain and see if we have any issues getting through here with Taskmaster, because I know a lot of people are interested in bringing him to Gear 20 as opposed to Omega Red or Apocalypse. So we're going to jump in here and find out. And of course, coffee. Hope you guys are having an awesome day, and don't forget, I'm also going to have a U16 defensive video that's going to be out here in a little bit. So by the time you're seeing this, it's already out. So check that out if you haven't. And then I did do a release yesterday on Songbird. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you check that out if you're interested in some gameplay with her. All right, so let's jump in here and get to work. Now, one thing to note, I did not go over this. All of my Orcus are 3 diamond, 105 Gear 20, and Taskmaster is also 3 diamond, 105 Gear 20. All right, let's go ahead and use her ultimate. And of course, we're definitely going to want to focus in on Blade. This node has a barrage of attacks before we get to go. All right. So let's go ahead and grab a couple more Sentinels, get some speed up for Nimrod. Okay. Let's go ahead and use Nimrod's special. All right. We're going to jump over here to Blade and use Lady Deathstrike's special. We're going to go all in on Blade for now. Let's go ahead and use her special. Get some heal out there. All right, we're going to save Taskmaster's ultimate until the next round drops. Okay, let's grab another Sentinel out here. I don't foresee any issues. Let's see what his special is. Attack primary, apply stun, rebound to adjacent. No, there's no sense in using that yet, so we'll just go with his basic, and we'll go ahead and get rid of Man-Thing. All right. So we have Blade and Oath dropping again, so we're definitely going to focus in on Blade. Okay, let's go over here. All right, there goes Blade. I'll tell you the same thing that I saw in the testing with Omega Red. Orcus is just so strong in this event that I'm going to be straight up with you. I really don't think it matters who your 5th is on this team. With the exception, obviously, they need to be built big enough to where they're going to survive the barrage of attacks. But Orcus doesn't need any additional damage from anyone. They pretty much just walk through this. All right, let's go into the final node with them. See if we see more of the same. Okay. We're, of course, going to use her ultimate. Let's go ahead and start going in on Shadow King. Let's go ahead and use Nimrod's special. Let's see if we even get to Taskmaster. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab another couple Sentinels. Okay, we do get to use Taskmaster. All right, so his ultimate is going to blind everybody. So he's pretty much a beast. Does really, really good damage. And blinding everyone is just crazy. But like I said, did he have any bearing on whether or not we won? No, he didn't. I think you can pretty much bring whoever you want to as the 5th person into global villain, but if you're interested in bringing up Taskmaster, is he going to work in here? Absolutely he is. So I kind of suspected that he would, because I think you can pretty much, if you've got a big Orcus, auto that whole entire section with Orcus. So, all right, so we got one down. Taskmaster absolutely works. Actually, we're going to jump over here and do Super Skrull next, because the testing with Global Hero is going to be pretty intensive. And we've just got a couple nodes here to try with Super Skrull. So we're going to get Super Skrull out of the way, because we're going to be trying multiple different team variables when it comes to Liberty in the Global Hero section. All right, so what I did is I removed Mephisto and replaced him with Super Skrull. So all of these characters, of course, are 105, gear 20, 3 diamond. You can see I've got all of all of these guys are fortifiers right now because of Crucible. You'll see why in the Crucible video. But I'm just going to leave them there for now. If I have to switch them to get through this, so be it. But I don't want to go in and start changing everything around. If we do have to come back out and swap their ISOs, then we certainly will. But we're going to test him replacing Mephisto. And then we're also going to try bringing Mephisto back in and replacing Shadow King with Super Skrull, and seeing how he does there as well. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and use Gore's ultimate. There goes one. Okay, let's move over here, because I'd really like to get rid of this other Black Knight. Very good. There goes Oath. Blade is ability blocked, so we're good there. All right, let's go ahead and use Thanos' ultimate. Clear all those positive effects. Okay, let's go ahead and use Skrull's ultimate. go ahead and just use his basic for now. All right. Now we're going to use Shadow King's ultimate. And easy peasy. ISOs didn't matter, and Skrull swapped out for Mephisto, no issues whatsoever. So we're going to bring Mephisto back in, and then we're going to try, we'll jump on the last node, and we're going to swap out, we're going to bring Skrull over here, and then we're going to swap out Shadow King for Mephisto and see how this goes. All right, so let's try this as well. I've had multiple people wanting to know whether or not Super Skrull would work in here. I didn't figure it would be much of an issue. I think the main thing, you definitely want to have your 3 Annihilators together. But I think outside of that, whether you bring Null, Shadow King, Super Skrull, Mephisto, I think you're going to be fine either way you go there. But we'll find out. All right, let's go ahead and get exhaust out on everyone. Oh my gosh, I cannot stand Gambit. All right, let's go ahead and use Mephisto's ultimate. I think we'll hold on to Super Skrull's ultimate for now. Just do some basics and get through these pandas. All right, now we got another drop. Let's go ahead and use Gor's ultimate. I think we're going to be okay with Super Skrull swapping out for pretty much anyone. Let's go ahead and get the ability block over here. All right, let's do Gladiator's ultimate. All right, now we'll do Skrull's ultimate. All right, let's go after the other Sasquatch. Hank Pym is very irritating, but he doesn't have any Illuminati to give safeguard to, so he's just going to be prolonging the inevitable. So let's go over here and get rid of Sasquatch. And we'll use Thanos' ultimate again. And hopefully this will seal the deal. Yep, we got no more death proofs and he's gone. Okay, so yeah. The long and short of this is super simple. I think if you bring the 3 Annihilators and the other 2 that you swap in and out, I think you're going to be fine regardless of who you're going with. I know a lot of people want to use Super Skrull because he's bio, and there's not a whole lot of bio characters that are being required. So if that is something you're interested in, you're good to go. You're not going to have any issues or concerns whatsoever. Okay, now comes the interesting part. Because I have found in prior testing that when it comes to swapping out Liberty members, it gets a little bit tricky in here because, oh yeah, I was playing around with this last night. And I was planning on doing some play testing with Black Knight, and I'm going to tell you, Black Knight in this section is very similar to Old Man Logan. If you put him on the field, whenever Shadow King spawns mirror images of all your tunes, Black Knight will wreck you. So I do not recommend at all bringing up Black Knight for Professor X. Now, I do 100% recommend taking him to Gear 20 for Crucible and War. But for the Saga, he is on the same playing field as Old Man Logan. He will wreck you. So I don't recommend that at all. All right, so I've had multiple people wanting me to test Songbird and Vicky with Liberty. So we're going to start out first with Joaquin, Peggy, and Cap Sam. And we are going to, let's go ahead and bring Songbird up here. Now, I made Songbird a fortifier so that she could stay alive a little bit longer. One thing to note, Songbird is a 1 diamond, 105 G20. And I got lucky on the diamond orbs that I got from the command center last night and pulled a 3 diamond on Vicky. So since she's a 3 diamond, I'm going to leave her at striker for now. If I need to swap her over to fortifier to get her to survive, then that's something that we'll definitely check out. But as of right now, that's what we're going to stick with. And we have Joaquin as a striker and Peggy as a striker. So let's jump in here with this team combo and see how it goes. The problem with this section is war buffs are active. So the reason why Liberty works so well is because they're getting access to all of the war buffs in their kits. So anybody that you bring in outside of that, you're losing that. So we're going to try this node and the final node with Shadow King, because this node is extremely difficult if you allow Old Man Logan to start going crazy. So we're going to do our best to stay away from him initially. All right. So we are going to we're going to use her special because I do not want to target and hit Old Man Logan yet. All right. Let's go in here with Peggy. Okay. Let's go ahead and get some speed out there to our team. Attack primary and adjacent targets. Apply trauma ability block. All right, let's see how this goes. Of course, Old Man Logan has immunity and safeguard, which is not perfect. Okay. Peggy's going to clear all barrier, which is irrelevant right now. Attack all enemies. Apply slow, vulnerable. Apply ability block. I think we're just going to go ahead and use her basic right here. All right. Now, Old Man Logan is about to do his ultimate, which is terrible. You really want to get rid of him before that. All right, let's go ahead and get some speed bar going. We have got to get rid of Old Man Logan. Okay. We're going to go ahead and use her ultimate now. And we are going to go in and try to get rid of Logan. Okay, there's one. It's not great. All right. So we lost Peggy. Okay, well that did not work. So let's jump in and we're going to try that again. We're going to try a little bit different strategy. Typically, I want to stay away from Logan for as long as possible, but maybe we're going to have to go right after him and see if that will work better. So let's try this again. We're going to try a bunch of different ways in here because I really want to give you guys a look at whether or not you have any hope to use them. Because I know a lot of people are really wanting to bring them up to G20. So, okay. Let's just go after Logan. Okay, let's go over here with Peggy. We've got 2 or more Thunderbolt allies. Reduce the duration of defense up, defense down. Of course, we do not have reduced speed bar by 20. Let's go ahead and do that into Logan. Okay. Primary and adjacent. Let's go ahead and go into Logan again. Okay. Let's go over here. We are going to just keep hammering Logan. The pandas are so irritating, man. Oh my goodness. And I'm way too far away from Logan. All right, we lost Peggy again. Yeah, we're definitely not having any issues here when it comes to keeping Songbird and Vicky alive. I'm wondering... All right, we're going to try this one more time, and I'm going to throw... I'm going to put... We keep losing Peggy Carter. Obviously, you like to have her as a striker. But I'm going to make her a fortifier, and we're just going to see if this is going to help us. All right. She is the weak link in this match for sure. So let's see if making her a fortifier will help us get through this. All right. Okay, let's go back into this node. All right, she is now a fortifier, so maybe she can stay alive. Let's find out. Okay. We're going to go ahead and go in here with her ultimate. All right, we have got to get rid of Logan right out of the gate here. Okay, he's got claws out now. Okay. Well, Peggy stayed alive. Okay, so we're going to try this one other way. We're going to try our initial strategy, stay away from Old Man Logan, and see if that will work. If not, I'm going to deem that these two together are not going to work to get through this node. Okay. So let's try this. All right, so we're going to go over here now and try to stay away from Logan for as long as possible. We're going to stay over here with her special. Okay. Let's go ahead and use Cap Sam's ultimate. All right, we got rid of docking. Let's go ahead and use her ultimate here, see if we can get rid of Panda. No, we did not. Of course, he revived. We've got to get rid of that other docking. Okay. Bonus attack, gain 1 deflect. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. Alright, let's use her ultimate here. Alright, let's use her ultimate. All right. Okay, one of the pandas is gone now. That's fantastic. And then we lose Phoenix. Oh my goodness. All right. I do not think that is going to work. Let's swap out Falcon and bring in Patriot. Let's try this. Let's see if we can find a combo of this that's going to allow us to use them. Okay. Let's go right here. Okay, let's go here with her special. All right, let's get in here with Patriot. All right. Logan is raining on our parade like crazy today. Okay, let's swap let's swap their positions. Okay, we got slow on Logan. Attack primary and adjacent, reduce speed bar, let's do that. Okay, now let's go after him. Let's get Patriot in here. Oh my goodness. How many times are we going to get him down to 1 bar of health? All right. We're going to try one more time, going completely away from Logan, and hope that we can find a solution for you guys. Oh my gosh, I really want this to work because I know a lot of you are really wanting to use Songbird and Vicky in here, but it is not looking promising at this point in time. All right, let's go over here. We're going to stay away from Logan. We are going to go ahead and use her ultimate because he's getting ready to take a turn anyway. I want to flip some of these positive effects. All right. Let's see. We're going to go here. All right. Guys, I do not see any way of getting through this with those two. I do not, unfortunately. So, I've had another request when it comes to Songbird, so we're going to try that as well. And that is to bring in these three, and also to try swapping Patriot out with Cap Sam and see how this goes. All right. I'd really like to get rid of both Dawkins right out of the gate. All right, let's go ahead and use his special. All right. Okay. Again, I think the big trigger for this is Dawkins. If we can figure out a way to kill both of the Dawkins, then he won't keep sending Old Man Logan on a rampage. And we got really, really, really close. So let's try that again and see if we can get around both of the Dawkins. And if this doesn't work this time, I think I'm going to swap Peggy back to a striker, and we'll try that. All right. Go ahead, Logan. Do your thing. You're going to do it in a minute anyway. All right. All right. We might be able to get rid of Logan. Oh my goodness. They're all surviving by 1 bar of health. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's 1 down. Now let's see if we can survive the Dawkins attacks. No, we cannot. Okay. We're going to change Peggy back to a striker. Okay, maybe not. There we go. All right. We're going to try this one more time, and then we're going to swap out Patriot for Cap Sam and see how that works. Two positive effects. There's nothing there. Nothing there. Now let's just go ahead and go after him. Okay. See if we can get ability block on him. Very good. And defense down. Now let's go after him with Peggy. Striker shot. All right. There's docking. Okay. So this is going a lot better, for sure. Nope. That's also not going to work. All right, so let's swap out Patriot for Cap Sam. And let's see how this goes. We're going to try everything, guys. I'm going to give you every shred of hope for this to be able to work. All right, let's go here. Okay. The pandas are the worst. The amount of times that we get these guys down to 1 bar of health and then they regenerate to full health is just absurd. And he has immunity and safeguard. There's pretty much nothing we're going to do. All right. We've got to get Phoenix to go so he can get our health back up. All right. Okay, there goes one. Okay, flip all negative effects to positive effects. Attack primary to adjacent, heal self and all liberty for 15%, and more, reduce speed bar by the primary target. Oh my gosh, why can it not be him? Okay. I really want to control docking. Apply slow. We gotta get rid of docking. Okay. Now. Attack gains 500%. Let's try it. Ability blocking, maybe. Oh, he's got immunity. Oh, my goodness. Oh, we were so close. I feel like we can pull that off. There might be some extreme RNG going on with it, but we're going to try that again. I think if I don't use Songbird's ultimate there and maybe use the basic, that we might get through there. So let's try it again. And let's see if we can play that just a little bit differently. And maybe we can get it to work out there. Okay, we're going to go over here with her special. We are going to save Emma's special to hopefully put an ability block on one of the Dawkins or Old Man Logan. Let's go ahead and let him do his crazy. Okay. Let's go ahead and do her special over here. All right. He does not have a vulnerable, so we're not going to get an attack from Peggy. All right, let's go ahead and use his special. I want to save his ultimate until we get through this barrage. All right. Okay. So it looks like we survived all that craziness. Okay. Now we are at that point. Okay. We got rid of Logan. And he came right out and did his special again. Let's go ahead and see if we can get rid of docking. Oh, my goodness. Okay. We lost Emma again. I just do not see any way this is going to work, guys. We're going to try one other thing, just because we're in here and why not. I'm a pretty firm believer that Peggy is an absolute must. But let's take her out and try this and see what happens. I've had crazier things happen. I'm going to go ahead and go after docking because Old Man Logan's going to go anyway, and I really want to get rid of these dockings. Okay. We're going to go ahead and he does not have immunity. We're going to ability block Logan. All right. Let them go through their craziness here. Well, I'm going to be honest, that was lucky. Because they are not hitting Emma. If they did, this would be over. Okay. I don't know. I think this might be able to work. We're going to try it again. We're going to do this a little different because we've got a little more damage out there with Patriot there instead of Peggy, and we're just going to go right after Logan. Because at this point in time, why not? Well, that theory did not work. Here, just a second, guys. I got to let my cat out. Come on, kitty, kitty. Come on. Let's go. Out you go. All right. So, even Dublin was getting tired of watching this, so he wanted to get the heck out of here too. All right. Let's try this combo. We have not tried it yet with Joaquin, Cap, Sam, and Patriot, and then Vicky and Songbird. Let's try this. And we're going to leave it at this. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to take the stance that you're not going to be able to use them to get through this. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and use Patriot now. Okay. Let's use Vicky's ultimate. Okay. Got the ability block on Logan, which is perfect. Of course, it doesn't matter because they're going to take 400 turns. He's going to reset and... Logan is highly, highly frustrating on defense. This is our last turn, guys. Unless we miracle a win on this, then we're going to try it again to make sure that it's not a fluke. Okay. Okay, we got ability blocks over there. So as long as they don't take 400 turns, we may be able to get some work done here. Logan literally went all the way through an ability block, all the way back up to his ultimate. Oh my goodness. If Logan had the new stats, they'd just have to close the game. Because he would destroy everyone. Alright. There's one. And he comes right out with his special. Gets his life back. Okay. Okay. This is like Frozen Dimension. All right, guys. I'm going to say absolutely not. You cannot use Songbird and Vicky. I want to jump over before we leave and look real quick at Hyperion's kit. Where's he at? There he is. All right, he's going to be cosmic. So when he comes out, we will test him in the cosmic section. But I'm going to tell you that from my perspective, and this is my opinion after the testing, that you're not going to be able to get through it with Songbird and Vicky. So if bringing them to Gear 20 is what you're doing to try to progress in Professor X, I would tell you, do not do that. Stick with Liberty and Emma. I did do some testing where Jean Grey can work too. If you haven't watched that, go back and check out that video. But it does not look like you're going to be able to use any of the Thunderbolts in that section. The war buff that's active is just way too much because the Mercs are getting the war buff. You're coming in with two characters that don't have it. And as you could see, it's like being in Frozen Dimension again. They're getting 800 turns. You cannot kill Logan enough times to get rid of him without him coming right back doing his special. And it's just a cycle that just continues. So my recommendation is going to stay the same there. You're definitely going to want to stay away from the Thunderbolts when it comes to Professor X. Obviously, I recommend that you bring them up when you get the extra gear. But when it relates to Professor X, stick with Liberty, guys. With that being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. I know it was long. I wanted to try every single possible way that we could to get that to work. Because I know a lot of you guys are really, really hoping that you can bring up Songbird and Vicky for that. But unfortunately, I just don't see any light at the end of that tunnel. I will catch you guys in the next video. Make sure that you guys subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends. You know the drill. And stay positive and enjoy the game, guys. If I could stay positive while getting destroyed by Logan 400 times, then you guys can stay positive out there as well. So have an awesome rest of